Yes, I've got some good shit to tell you today, brothers and sisters. As I say, we're not gonna bullshit about it. We're gonna tell it just like it is.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? I have to be honest with you guys. Did a lot of driving over the weekend, and I don't know. I don't really listen. I stopped listening to the radio about a good 7 years ago. I just listen to a lot of the mixtapes that I make, but even then that gets old because there really is no new good music coming out, or at least not too much, right? So when you do hear something good, you play it out really quickly because there's nothing else. Well, anyways, let me not get sidetracked. But I was doing a lot of thinking, and I was thinking about the Henry Louis Gates thing some more, and I realized that I'm not upset because of what happened to him. It happens all the time, right? Black men and black women get unfairly harassed. Some even get killed. And I'm not saying that to say that I'm used to it. You should never get used to it. But I didn't care about it on that level because I understand that in order to fight that, in order to fight some of the practices that police do that hurt black people, we have to change it in terms of their conduct and the procedure. Because if you understand, a lot of the stuff that happens, they're able to shield themselves because they can say they're following procedure. So if it's the procedure and policies that hurt us, then we need to figure out how to change some of those policies and procedures. Because this will continue to happen and we will continue to get upset. We just talk about it because we thought that this black man had assimilated. But it really doesn't matter. So until we understand what's going on, you'll have cops, do whatever they need to do. And at the end of the day, hide behind the whole idea of following policy and procedure. That's why a cop really has to go far out of line, and hopefully, it's videotaped for him to get the proper type of punishment. Okay? But I'm more upset at what's going on because I realize what's going to happen. Right? Henry Louis Gates and the rest of his intellectual crew and his followers are going to use what happened as hood credibility. Right? I'm sure they listen to the critiques in terms of how they don't represent the black struggle or how they're so far removed and all of the good stuff. I know they listen to it all the time. They have to. Right? And I realized that, just looking at all the press play that this is getting, and all the interviews that, or at least the CNN interview that I saw with Henry Louis Gates, I realized that this is that one incident that they're going to try to use, right, to say, look, right, we still know what's going on. I can already see State of the Black Union 2010, right? I can't wait for Michael Eric Dyson to get on, right? What rap is he gonna have now about Henry Louis Gates, right? He's the next Tupac, right? But it upsets me, right? Not because they're gonna try to use it that way, but they could have. If this man would have remembered that he was black and not objective to his blackness, they could have used it as his credibility. They really could have. This was their opportunity to prove that, they still know what's going on. But he failed. Listen, we all love Malcolm X. We all love him, right? Because he stood in the face of adversity and he was cool, calm, and collective. We love it. We love how every time he was battle tested, right, he conducted himself in a certain shape and form. That's why you go anywhere, any hood environment, there's some mural dedicated to Malcolm X. He was what we wanted to be, right? He gave us that example to follow in terms of how we meet oppression. Why? Because he told us the nature of the beast. And by telling us the nature of the beast, he showed us how to defeat him, how to expose him, right? If you know your enemy, don't be shocked at some of his tools and his methods if you claim to know them. And that's what he helped us understand. But you have Gates who will do lectures, have classes, have books and all this other stuff talking about white America and this dynamic and that dynamic, right? And when this man gets his chance to show that he really lives what he's talking about and he really identifies with it, he fucks up. You already know how the police are going to act, right? You already know what they're going to do. You already know the nature of the beast. But you blew up. What more do you have to do? Look at the pictures. Right? If I'm Henry Louis Gates, in my mind, I'm going to be like, well, I'm in slacks. I have a buttoned up collar shirt. I have the key to my house. I actually have the number to the place that's supposed to help me fix this door jam or whatever. And this cop is still there harassing me. Let him arrest me. I don't have to say a word in order for this man to be exposed. But he fucked up. Why? Well, if you get the police side of the story, they're going to say he was belligerent, he was hostile, and honestly, you know, that's up to you guys, right? That's your own take, but that's what they're going to use. If he simply understood he was black and said, yo, he's going to do what he has to do, that cop would have been exposed. But because he acted in the manner that he acted, he gave them the out. They gave them that wiggle room. So therefore, his experience to me is null and void. I don't want to see people use it as some hood credibility in terms of what's really going on. Because we already knew that. We already knew what was going on. So anyways, you guys take it easy. Tell me how you feel. God bless.